Hello?
Hey, what's up? It's me.
How are you, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. What's up?
Nothing much. Just staying at home, making sure to stay safe, quarantining myself. You?
Listen, I could tell you so much about it. I don't know. At the end, look, I'm sitting here in quarantine like you probably are.
Yep.
What we're doing is simple, right? We're following the global social distancing principle. Why? We're fighting the spread of COVID-19.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be worried or not, but at the end of the day, our thoughts and condolences should be with those, who've lost a loved one during this pandemic. We're good.
You're right.
That's important first. But I've thought a lot about the scenario. I mean, at the end of the day, we're staying home to flatten the curve. The so-called exponential curve. I've always been mind blown by the power of exponentiality. I mean, look, if you had a cent today, 1 cent, and you doubled your wealth every day, you would be a millionaire on day 28.
Wow.
But would only have 5K on day 20. We are on day 20. So stay home.
Yeah.
Just flatten the curve. That's how they say it. Flatten the curve. But I don't think there's any need to panic or have bad mood. I mean, remember, every sun has burned to shine. Every sun has burned to shine. We'll get through this.
I know.
Generally, I just stopped thinking about situations and getting angry at situations you presented. Look, I wanted to work as a cashier at Burger King. You remember, I got rejected, started my own company with a backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah. My teacher, he was like, the most you would become is a used car trader. Remember that? Well, he was right? We're now the largest car trader. We evaluated, 3 million cars worth $15 billion. Yeah.
Wow.
What about the bullies? The bullies who laughed at me not having the best clothes when I grew up. Well, what? We've built the largest online fashion store in the Middle East now. I mean, you can tell these stories to them now, but what's the point? We were angry back then.
Yeah.
Look, this fashion store, we merged it with Soup.com. It was then bought by Amazon and its largest acquisition ever outside the US. Look, my friend, one of my good friends, he broke his knee on the way to the airport. He missed his flight, and that flight crashed and killed over 300 people.
Wow.
So he got angry at a situation, but what happened? It saved him. I wouldn't even be born if my grandfather didn't have to leave the city at age 10. He used to travel like 650 kilometers on his own. He did that actually. He left his home and traveled so long to work at a restaurant that young. And eventually he ended up meeting my grandmother. So I wouldn't have been born if he wouldn't have been in this situation.
Yeah, right.
So I don't get angry at situations, brother. Well, we're going through some tough times now, I know that, but the good ones are coming. It's like in business, it's like in the markets. Every market goes through 4 phases, like a waveform. It's called expansion, boom, recession, depression. And there's 3 rules you need to know as an entrepreneur. Rule number 1, you learn to swim before you drown. The wave will come. Rule number 2, after every boom, there is a recession. And rule number 3, once you're in water, you will get wet. In order to get out, remember rule number 1. Yeah, I mean, remember last year in October, okay, I posted something on Instagram. I said that healthcare, education, and logistics we'll need heavy tech implementation, and governments need to relax regulation, especially in those areas. You see how important that is now?
Yeah.
COVID-19 made us work from home. It changed literally all three areas: education, healthcare, and logistics. And we'll see more. Maybe that's something good out of this bad situation we're in now. People adapt more to technology.
Yep.
And see the importance of it, especially in those heavily regulated industries. Look, a month later, I announced selling all my assets, emphasized the importance of cash, divested from all risky investments. I reduced luxury. I even committed my life's work to charity and medical research. A few days later, I was even invited to meet the Pope at his house.
Wow.
And I did. Talk about inspiration, brother. Anyway, the question which never left my mind after that was, what is true luxury? Having it or not needing it? So a month later, COVID-19 breaks out in China. A few weeks later, we approve a large investment for our company with heavy government support and raised our funding to $50 million. I had a feeling somehow, right? What happens a few weeks later? The virus spreads worldwide. A few weeks later, in March, the markets crash. All assets lose crazy value, the largest crash since 1987. And cash becomes king. So what, did I have a crystal ball in October? No. I can't foresee everything. I've been asked many times if luck plays a role in life, right? Well, luck is a form of randomness, but your readiness is not. So what's your luck conversion rate? That's what I always ask, right? Are you ready when luck hits? Right, long time ago, I was always the one who, in the conversation, who tried to convey my message, but I realized the importance of listening as well. Like, imagine words as being currency. So then listening creates wealth, and too much talk makes you poor. I spend an hour a day reading, and I listen to everybody's story. I love humans, right? I always say that I love humans. Because everybody knows something, I don't. And I've been talking a lot now, but I want you to talk as well. I want you to listen to your story, brother.
No, bro, I'd rather listen to you. I know you know more about this than me. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Everybody knows something I don't. I said that, right?
Yeah.
But I believe before we proceed to acquire knowledge, we should even understand knowledge itself. I mean, there's only 4 types of it, right? I'm not going to dwell on each one of them now, but COVID-19 is knowledge type 3. It is a so-called known unknown. You know, a pandemic was a risk, and the consequences of that were uncertainty. You know, there's a huge difference. With risk, you know all possible outcomes, like in playing roulette. In uncertainties, you don't. So what we did early on, we were ready for the risk and scenario planning accordingly. We stayed innovating, agile, and we looked for questions we didn't even know we should ask. You know, I think that's something which really makes up successful companies, because they continuously evolve to become better. Failing companies continuously think they are better. You know, especially in times of uncertainty, the weak, they look at the norms, the peers, or conventional wisdom. But the strong, they look at empirical evidence. And when the market is in a recession, there's only 2 things which come out of it. The good ones become better, and the bad ones get removed. Remember, there's always 2 sides to a story as well. The sinking of the Titanic was a miracle to the lobsters in the ship's storage room. They benefited. We always see the things as we are, not as they are.
Yeah.
Also another thing I always get asked is about future business opportunities. First of all, any business needs to solve a pain point in the market. And there is opportunity, especially in macroeconomic trends you can ride, or macroeconomic disruption. For example, changes in laws or this pandemic. Oftentimes, they pull up new opportunities. And even if there are big existing players, the markets are moving organisms with changing pillars you can always conquer, especially when these pillars now get disrupted and changed. COVID-19 is a macroeconomic event, a century event. This is a game-changing moment. But what are you doing about it, right? Because nobody will care about the things you've almost done. You will not go back looking at your life and talking to your grandchildren about things you have almost done. Doesn't matter. You've not done it. I've traveled the world. I've seen thousands of people. There's only two types at the end of the day. The ones that do things and the ones that talk about it. You choose your camp. And don't let anybody discourage you from starting a business, especially if you're not an expert in it. You can become an expert in most industries within 6 months. I was never an expert in fashion, but built the largest online fashion store in the Middle East. I've never been an automotive expert, and today we're the largest online car trader. So I could go on and on. Building businesses is a craft, like carpentry. If you know how to build, doesn't matter if the product is a table or a chair. Remember, they will first laugh at you, but then they'll smile at you. Don't let anybody tell you you're not worth it or you don't know it. Just because you don't shine doesn't mean you're not a gem, brother.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for everything.
And at the end of the day, if you think it's not normal, I think being normal is actually abnormal.
You're right.
And if you don't do it, someone else will. All right? So just do it. But don't focus on making money. Don't put that as your target. It's just a means to an end. It's like playing Monopoly. You know the board game Monopoly?
Yeah.
You win by accumulating assets. Even if you own everything, at the end it all goes back into the box. So what remains is the impression you left on the people around you. And that's life. That's life, brother. Like Einstein said, not everything you can count counts. Not everything that counts you can count. That means, for example, you cannot count the love of your family, but it counts, right? You can count your cars, but does it really count? So if you go, for example, to your grandparents' house and look at the pictures on the wall, you will understand what really counts in life. Consistency is truth. Look at all the things in your life that never change. Those are the true things. Like, family never changes. God never changes.
Wow.
Last but not least, brother, loyalty is the foundation of your reputation. That's the utmost form of unity and good ethics. Doing the right thing when no one's watching. If you want to know if someone's trustworthy, watch their behavior when they have these three things. If they have a sense of anonymity, if they have reduction of inhibitions, and if they have a sense of justification. Watch their behavior when they have that. Anyway, I love working with people with good ethics and strong values. My goal was never to make $1 billion, but to be able to turn it down if it was wrong.